Hey, better late than never. How are ya? It's Monday, July 6, 2020. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. We're on the air, barely, but we're here. It was a long weekend. Nice weekend, beautiful weekend weather-wise. It was a nice weekend, all things considered. It was sunny and warm. It wasn't too hot. The weather on Independence Day, Saturday, was perfect. Couldn't have been any better. Sunny, warm, not hot. We were actually comfortable up on the roof of the Town Theater Center broadcasting the Let's Have a Blast fireworks display Saturday night at 10 o'clock. There have been years past when it was brutally hot on the roof of the Town Theater Center, but it wasn't bad at all. We had a good time. We hope you enjoyed the show if you had a chance to check it out here on the NCW Live channel. And we're back at it again today. For the most part, we're in for a pretty nice week, but those darn winds that have been bugging us going to make a comeback, especially tonight and especially on Tuesday. We're going to see temperatures just about what we had over the weekend. We had 81 on Saturday and 83 on Sunday. It's actually below normal. Our normal high is 84. We're going to drop down to well below normal tomorrow, and then sunshine but breezy conditions. Hit and miss for the rest of the week. Complete weather forecast details are coming up. I'll have your latest news. Speaking of that, I crunched the numbers here at the Broadcast Metroplex every weekday morning, and I mean actually every morning, even on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, so 7 days a week. Rivercom sends us their dispatch log, which is essentially everything that was phoned in that law enforcement or ambulance or fire or whatever it was dispatched to. I was curious about fireworks, of course, as you might imagine. All told, between Friday night and Saturday night, we just got the numbers in for Sunday, and I don't think it's really, I didn't hear any fireworks at all in my neighborhood yesterday, but between Friday night and Saturday night, between the four local law enforcement agencies in our area, in the two-county area, so the Chelan and Douglas County Sheriff's Departments, the Wenatchee Police Department, and the East Wenatchee Police Department, you combine all of those, they answered 189 calls about fireworks. 189. That's 188 too much, anyway. A lot of fireworks on Friday night and Saturday night kept me awake, quite frankly. Anyway, it has passed. We seem to have gotten through our nation's 244th birthday without too much trouble. So we got everything that you're used to, and in the back half of the hour, as you know by now, they made the announcement middle of last week, there will be no AppleSox baseball at all this year. They were holding out hope of some sort of mini camp or a kind of a baseball fest or Sandlot kind of a get-together at Paul Thomas Senior Field with some of the local baseball talent. That's not going to happen. And we're going to talk to Jose Oglesby, an interview that we taped on Friday. He is the owner, of course, of the Wenatchee AppleSox. He was kind enough to come down here to our broadcast Metroplex and talk about the decision that had to be made, apparently, and where we go forward from here. So my talk with Jose will come up in the back half of the hour. 4 minutes after the hour, 63 degrees. Let's see what happens next. Let's take our tour around. Oh, well, that's the forecast. You want to do that, Megan, or do you want to take? We'll take our tour. There we go. There we go. That's, of course, our cross camera, which begins our festivities. We used that a little bit, as a matter of fact, on Saturday night for the fireworks display. It was a shorter show, but they shot off the same amount of fireworks in a shorter period of time, and the finale was really cool. We used that camera there to shoot some of the fireworks. Beautiful view of the Wenatchee Valley. Looking good. Looking good. Camera number 2, I don't know. We'll find out. That looks to be the Waterville camera. Am I correct, Megan? And that looks to be pointed to the north. So that would be the Columbia River and areas past Orondo. There's some pretty nice houses right around the Columbia River, as you might imagine. Stayman Flats area on the other end of the highway there. They're the other end of the Columbia River. By the way, 97A, the Nepsil Tunnel, reopened. Yeah, so that little traffic snafu has been alleviated. You can go through all the way from the Wenatchee Valley to Chelan Valley. And if you prefer to take US 97A, you can do so now and go through the Nepsil Tunnel instead of having to cut through the Navarre Coulee. Good morning to our friends up in the Waterville area, looking down basically on the outskirts of Orondo, if there is such a thing. If there isn't, there is now. Camera number 3. Jump off ridge. Looks hazy there, doesn't it? I guess that's an optical illusion. It's not that hazy. It's just a camera that's way up in elevation and is seeing a lot of real estate. Stamil Basin at the bottom of your screen. Can't quite make out Malaga, but outside of that, a beautiful view there from Jump Off Ridge. Of course, a lot of cherries get grown up in the Stamil Basin, and because of the elevation, cooler temperatures, those cherries take a little bit longer before they start coming off the trees. Basically, the cherries work from south to north, so they've been harvesting cherries in the Tri-Cities area, then up to Yakima, then the lower portions of north central Washington, and the upper portions of north central Washington. It's cherry season. It's also corn season. Camera number 4. Well, it's off to beautiful Quincy. We go. How you doing, Quincy? To our tower at Monument Hill. You can actually see the shadows of the tower as it comes down on Stephen Lynette Hare's summer home. So you can see the dishes and the translators and the transmitters on top of Monument Hill. That used to be pretty darn primitive back in the day. They've made a lot of improvements to that area. And as you can tell, it has a barbed wire fence around it, so you don't want to be hanging around there, but that's one of the highest points in and around the Quincy area, which is why we have a Sky-Fi camera there. All right, not bad. Couple of slides to show for you. Now, it's just a weak little chance of a thunderstorm possibility, but there is enough instability to the northwest of us that I thought I'd throw that up there. So up in the Omak area, could even slide down into Chelan. This is a Monday night, tonight into Tuesday morning. Just a slight chance of a thunderstorm rest. Now, if you're heading to the southeastern part of the state, the Tri-Cities and the Walla Walla area, you have a better possibility. There's just a wave, not a particularly powerful one. It's moving up from northeast Oregon and southeast Washington to our area, or pretty close to it. So there'll be a chance of some thunderstorms in the areas that you see in yellow and in tannish yellow, I guess. But that's probably not going to affect us, but it's close enough to our viewing area. We thought we'd throw that up. Now, this is definitely going to affect us, and that's going to be the breezy conditions. Yep, it's back. Breezy to windy conditions expected tonight, all into Tuesday. It's going to cool down a lot on Tuesday. The winds are going to be coming later on today, basically overnight. As the evening progresses, the wind will be picking up in intensity tonight, and it's going to be downright breezy on Tuesday and Tuesday night. I think you might even be able to safely call it windy. Obviously, all those areas that are prone to wind, upper elevations, the east slopes of the Cascades, the lees where they can get going through the hollers and the canyons. That's basically what we're looking at there. We just, whenever we seem to have even a small stretch of non-windy weather, it comes back again. So get ready for more wind and unfortunately cooler temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday. For a lot of people, it's plenty comfortable, but it is July and there's nothing wrong with a little heat now and again, but it's not really going to be hot. If anything, it's going to be warm. For Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, they give your home a hug. Here's your forecast. Again, warm and dry and sunny today. We're going to repeat what we did over the weekend. Going to be a little bit warmer, though. I have about 89, 88, 89 or so. Again, we had 81 on Saturday, 83 yesterday, and it's 63 right now, so that 88, 89 mark seems certainly within the realm of possibility. No wind today. That's going to change tonight. Clear skies, 59 for the overnight low. The wind will be picking up in intensity. Going to be breezy. Northwest wind about 11 to 18 miles an hour overnight tonight. Gusts above 20. Going to be windy all day on Tuesday, and you can see a dramatic temperature drop, at least 10 degrees, if not more, on Tuesday with a high of about 77 degrees. The story tomorrow is going to be the wind. Northwest wind 14 to 18 miles an hour pretty much all day tomorrow. Gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. It's going to be breezy right on into Tuesday night. 56 for the overnight low. A west wind about 13 to 18 miles an hour. It will die down after midnight Tuesday night, but basically it's going to be windy overnight tonight, all day Tuesday, and for most of Tuesday evening before that weak system exits. We're right back to sunshine. 82 our high on Wednesday, 87 on Thursday, not a lot of wind expected. 86 on Friday, 89 on Saturday, not bad for racing at the WVSO. We will be there. 85 on Sunday. So a long stretch of sunny and warm weather, not necessarily hot. Going to be windy overnight tonight, all day Tuesday and into Tuesday night. Winds die down. When you wake up Wednesday, it'll be beautiful and things are looking mighty fine for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is a forecast that makes it really easy for us to do because there just isn't a lot to talk about. 63 degrees outside of our studios at 11 minutes after the hour. Going to take a quick break. Come back with your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. Bubbly, sparkling water. Crack a smile.
We are back just about 12 minutes after the hour, 63 degrees, bountiful sunshine, mid to upper 80s today. Wind will be picking up in intensity overnight tonight, not during the day today. Going to be breezy and considerably cooler all day Tuesday, breezy into Tuesday night. And then we're done with the wind, we hope anyway, for a few days as we warm back up to normal temperatures. Here's just making the headlines. Just over a week ago, Chelan and Douglas counties hit a milestone in COVID-19 cases. When we went up to above 500, now it's close to 700 confirmed cases in the two-county health district. They say there are 682 cases in the Wenatchee Valley. As of Friday afternoon, numbers show the largest spread is among people under 40 years old, and the virus continues to disappropriately affect the valley's Hispanic community. They make up about a third of the total population, but they represent 77% of the coronavirus cases. Now, the rate of spread is somewhat alarming for local efforts to move to the next phase of the state's economic reopening plan. The Chelan Douglas Health Board, by the way, was scheduled to address that application to go from phase 1.5 to phase 2 in a meeting last Friday afternoon. In a Q&A session hosted by the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center on Wednesday, the Chelan Douglas Health Officer, Dr. Malcolm Butler, warned there is a, quote, storm brewing on the horizon, unquote, as a second wave of COVID-19 arrives here in the Wenatchee Valley. Butler said the majority of new cases are coming from people who show no symptoms. He also addressed claims that COVID-19 is no worse than the seasonal flu and said that our area is not yet ready to move to the next phase of the state's reopening plan.
Of the total number of cases we have tested in Chelan and Douglas County, the blue are the people who had symptoms at the time they were tested, and the orange are the people who are asymptomatic. That means, no, I don't have a headache, no, I don't have a sore throat, no, I don't feel tired. So I don't know how many people listening to me right now don't have a headache, don't have a fever, don't feel tired. Every single one of us could have COVID-19 right now and not know about it. And that, again, is why this pandemic and this virus is so incredibly difficult. It is my belief that most of the infection is happening from people who have no symptoms at all and are going out and wandering around town because they know they're fine and they're not going to infect anybody. Seasonal flu, we have a medicine called Tamiflu that we can treat it with. We have vaccinations that we can protect people. And the healthcare system was designed and sized appropriately to manage seasonal flu when it comes through. This is completely different. Now, from the virus's standpoint, in influenza, the vast majority of people have symptoms. I think it's like 10% of people in influenza do not have symptoms. 30% of people, 33% of people are asymptomatic with COVID-19. And as I mentioned before, that means that if you stay home when you feel sick, you'll still be wrong a third of the time. And that's just not the same in the flu. The other thing is COVID-19 looks to be overall probably at least 10 times as infectious as influenza. So it's got all these things going for it. It's contagious when you don't know. It's incredibly virulent and contagious. It takes 5 to 10 days to start showing symptoms. So again, there's this long period where you're asymptomatic. So it is almost the perfect pandemic type of virus, and it is much more dangerous than influenza. When those comments were first being made, gosh, look, hardly anybody's died from this, and look at all the people who died from influenza, that was a couple of months ago. If you look now at the number of people who have died, who relative to those who die every year, and then you wait and see what it's going to be like a year from now by the time the virus comes out, this is way, way, way worse. What we know now, for example, is that COVID-19 in Eastern Washington looks very different than in Western Washington. I don't know exactly why. I don't know if that's urban versus rural, or cold versus hot, or agricultural versus non-agricultural, but it's different, and the way it moves through communities is different. So we're at a point now where one size no longer fits all, and I think it makes more sense to tailor things individually. And I know the Department of Health has been willing to do that, which is why, even though Chelan and Douglas counties did not qualify based on the governor's phased approach to move into phase 2, we put together a proposal and it was accepted. And so we're calling that phase 1.9. The next move to phase, for us 2, and for many people phase 3, everybody was just expecting things will go well and we'll move forward. They were not anticipating the second wave was going to hit right now. And as I've mentioned, we are now in the second wave, and I honestly think from the state's perspective, that's going to put everything on hold.
Quincy Police Chief Keith Siebert has joined other authorities in asking the public to wear protective masks when they're out and about in compliance with the state health directives. Here's what Chief Siebert had to say about this on Facebook.
Hi, how y'all doing? Hey, I just want to take a minute and talk to you about wearing a mask out in public and in COVID-19. And before I do, I know that there's a bunch of you that are going to leave comments down below about the Constitution and what constitutional rights are and how that pertains to wearing a mask, or that there's some kind of political ploy from one political party or another. That is not what we're going to talk about today. And a lot of that is just people trying to rile up others and become even more divisive than what we already are. And that's not what we should be doing. Wearing a mask out in public, what it does is it helps protect other people. So if I wear a mask and I am asymptomatic and I don't know that I have COVID-19, it would help me from giving you COVID-19. And that's really what it should be about, right? Or us helping each other. And on a personal note, I have family who have been battling illnesses for a while that there are signs of hope, right? There's a rainbow at the end, but I would really hate for COVID-19 to come in and take away all the work that they've done, right? They've been fighting for a while. The medical staff has been fighting for a while. And I want to see them succeed. I want them to be around for a while. Weakened immune systems are no joke when it comes to COVID-19. So what I'm asking is, when you go out into the public, please wear a mask. If you're going to be around other people, or even outside, if you can't maintain that 6-foot distance, please wear it. This is about getting our community back to normal, taking care of each other. It's okay. It's a small inconvenience for somebody else's health. That's all I ask for. So I'll end it there. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Siebert. A former Wenatchee Valley man now living in Texas is accused of sexually abusing a child back in 2012. Douglas County prosecutors say Baltimore Vigil Jr. was 16 years old when he committed the crime, and they filed a single count this last week of first-degree child rape. The alleged victim was 5 years old at the time and disclosed the abuse late last year. Vigil was charged in 2018 with the rape of another child in the victim's family, but pleaded down to 3rd and 4th degree assault and was sentenced to 3 months of home monitoring. He must appear in court on the new charge on July 27th. A man imprisoned for killing a fellow orchard worker 9 years ago now wants a judge to resentence him. Luis Alberto Cruz, 26 years old, was 17 at the time when he stabbed Amilcar Ramirez to death in an orchard near Manson. He says his 20-year sentence for second-degree murder should be amended because the Chelan County judge didn't consider his young age at the time of the killing. Judge Travis Brandt said in a hearing Wednesday he doesn't have grounds to change the sentence and referred the case to the State Court of Appeals. Cruz is serving his time at the Coyote Ridge Corrections Center in Connell. Chip sealing work begins today on the Jumpstick Highway, a heavily traveled stretch of highway here just outside of Leavenworth. Traffic delays expected on 2 areas of the highway. Chelan County Public Works says the road is limited to 1 lane during the work. Flaggers will be directing traffic. The speed limit is also reduced to 35 miles per hour in the work zones. The county is recommending travelers use an alternative route if it's at all possible. Okanagan County Superior Court will be temporarily relocating from the courthouse to the fairgrounds in Okanagan. The move into the Agroplex and Annex will allow the court to continue cases that have been postponed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The larger space will allow for adequate social distancing for all involved. The Fair Board has recommended the Okanagan County Fair be canceled this year, but county commissioners have yet to act on that recommendation. The fair is scheduled for September 10th through the 13th. And finally this morning, a lot of Northwest farms are seeking what's called Salmon Safe certification, doing their part to raise healthy produce while keeping waterways clean and clear for migrating fish. The Cascadia Conservation District, which helps with the certification of farms in Central Washington, introduces us to one such salmon safe operation along the Icicle River.
Hi, I'm Sandy Letzing. I work for Cascadia Conservation District and I help run our ag and water quality program, and we're here with Jenny today from Snowgrass Farms. She's one of our new farmers for the Salmon Safe program. So she's going to kind of give us a tour of the farm. We're going to talk about the process and learn a little bit more. So if you want to introduce yourself and the farm.
Sure. Yep, my name is Jenny Bourgeois and I started Snowgrass Farm 3 years ago, so it's still pretty new. It's just under 2 acres worth of diversified produce, and we also have fruit, berries, and things like that. I just mostly do market kind of scale production. And yeah, I do everything from lettuce and greens to broccoli, carrots, beets, that kind of stuff. I'm currently selling at the Leavenworth Farmers Market, the Plain Farmers Market. I have a farm stand on site that's open on Mondays, and then I sell to various restaurants. I think it's really important for consumers to understand the products that they're purchasing. So the farm is located next to the Little Chumstick Creek, as much as having a really nice source of riparian wildlife buffer to be near the farm. That helps in a lot of ways, whether it's just birds, maintaining pest pressure, or just creating a diversified habitat. And so we did want to make sure that we maintained the proper distance from the creek.
And a lot of people don't know that Leavenworth uses the Icicle as a drinking water source. Anything that's coming from the land to the water eventually might end up in somebody's drinking water.
Part of the goal, I guess, of the farm is to have water transfer into where it comes through and leaves the same, if not better. At the beginning of the season, we might use what's called a tilther, which doesn't flip the soil, but it just chops it, and that's how we mix our amendments in. Okay. But that's kind of the only time of year we use that, and that really helps with, again, the water retention in the soil. You're not losing as much water, and it just mitigates a lot of weed pressure.
How are you going to use this Salmon Safe certification?
Cascadia, you guys were super helpful in kind of filling in those gaps, if there were any. I feel like the certification process was way easier. There's a lot of people who are looking for that kind of accountability from their producers. I highly recommend it also because it will make your farm better, whether it's helping you create plans that you didn't have, or actually helping you tweak what you're doing so it is more sustainable in whatever way that is.
Well, let's check out the farm.
All of a sudden I have a hankering for some fresh fruit and vegetables. I'm easily impressionable. And that's a look at what's making headlines on this Monday. Grant Olson, of course, will be back tonight to handle the news duties. I'll be handling sports because our good friend Eric Grandstrom is on assignment That's television talk for He's Not Here. I'll be handling sports tonight at 5, 6, and 10. And don't forget, we'd love to hear from you, our viewers. We try to make it as easy as possible. If you go to our Facebook page, you can drop us a line via Facebook Messenger. You can always comment on the stories that we post on our Facebook page as well. You can go to our website at ncwlife.com, ncwlife.com. You can see the Contact Us icon. Start at the very top of the screen. Click on it. You can either submit a news tip directly to our news department or just drop us a note. Or if you want to email us directly, our email address is news@ncwlife.com. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we're back at the WVSO this Saturday night for the second time this year. We'll preview that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
Don't worry, all the fun is around the corner. There's no better time to get ready than now with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa Sale. Stock Up and Save sale is now going on in-store and online at bluelagoompoolandspa.com. Even pool heaters are on sale. Financing available upon approval. Credit 24-month, no interest with equal payments. Stop by today or order online at bluelagoompoolandspa.com. Free water testing available in store or curbside. Don't wait, the sale is going on now.
Back here at the 28 minutes after the hour. If you're just joining us, we're going to have quite a bit of sunshine today, warmer than it was over the weekend, mid to upper 80s, and then the wind will be picking up tonight. It'll be windy and cool. Still sunshine on Tuesday, but quite a bit of wind on Tuesday, right on into Tuesday night, and then the wind goes away and the temperatures warm up by Wednesday of this week at 28 minutes after the hour. Let's talk sports for the second time, but maybe not the last time this summer. Our cameras will be at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval come Saturday night.
Green flag in the air. We're racing for the Dixie and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars on Dixie and Air Conditioning night.
35-lap main event for the Thunder Cars here this evening.
A little bit of a bump already out of Cameron Doyle in the 71 to the back of Carl Brandt. A couple former Roadrunner drivers in the field.
Now, if things continue as they are with the COVID-19, we'll probably do this more than once, maybe even 2 more times. It's looking that way anyway. The next race for the WVSO is this Saturday night. We will be there. We'll be broadcasting it live on the NCW Live channel. The Thunder Cars and the Pro Late models will be racing on North Valley Mechanical night this Saturday night. They'll be joined by the Mountain Dew Junior Late models, the Plum Perfect Road Runners, the Northwest Vintage Modifieds, and the Dwarf Cars. And once again this weekend, of course, no fans allowed in the grandstands because of COVID-19 restrictions. So if that's the case the following week, Saturday, July 18th, we'll be there again. Thunder of the Valley night with races featuring the Economy Midgets, the Northwest Focus Midget Series, the Granite Super Sprint Speed Tour Super Sprints, the Northwest Mini Stock Tour, and the West Coast Vintage Racers. It's good to broadcast stuff again. A couple little notes in the world of sports. King Felix Hernandez, of course, an unrestricted free agent, signed a minor league deal with the Atlanta Braves. He decided over the weekend he will not be playing baseball for the Braves this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And also, sometime today, we are told Major League Baseball will be releasing its 60-game abbreviated schedule. And if, in fact, they do that, we will have some of the games, Mariner games you don't want to miss when we do Sports Tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Again, it's supposed to be released today. Haven't seen it yet. And that's sports at 30 minutes after the hour. Just one obscure holiday to choose from today, but it's a good one. It's National Fried Chicken Day. Fried chicken was brought to the United States by both the Scottish and West African immigrants, believe it or not. They each brought their own little way to fried chicken to this country, and it's been quite popular because over 8 million chickens are consumed every year, and it's a pretty good bet that they're breaded and deep fried. Basically, the Scottish immigrants, their tradition was frying unseasoned chicken in animal fat, and West African slaves had the tradition of frying chicken in palm oil, and that's kind of how it all came together. It became obviously a southern tradition for a very simple reason. Slaves, as a general rule of thumb, were allowed to keep their own chickens, and on special occasions they'd fry them up. It was relatively commonplace in the Deep South back in the days, and of course restaurants being closed to African Americans because of segregation, fried chicken became the go-to dish because it traveled well. In an area before electricity and refrigeration, you could deep fry chicken and it would be ready to eat for quite some period of time. Just about all the chickens now, of course, you'll find at your supermarket or butcher shop, if you still go to one, are broilers. They were bred specifically to, well, be fried, essentially, is the way it is. Who doesn't love a good piece of fried chicken? National Fried Chicken Day today. I could eat a piece or two right now. 31 minutes after the hour. Today in history, there it is, the very first All-Star game in any sport. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is the granddaddy of them all. This is footage from the 1933 All-Star Game. Connie Mack managing the American League, John McGraw coming out of retirement to manage the National League. Jimmy Fox, Eddie Collins, some big studs were there. There's Lefty Gomez, the starting pitcher, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and of course, who was the hero of the very first All-Star Game at Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois? Of course, Babe Ruth, who hits the very first All-Star home run as the American League defeats the National League 4-2 at historic Comiskey Park. Nobody had ever done this before. They thought it was a good idea, and of course, it is a good idea. We won't have an All-Star game this year at Dodger Stadium, which is kind of a bummer, but the very first Major League All-Star game. So when you think of All-Star games, not just in baseball, but the pro footballs, All-Star game, what do they call it, the Pro Bowl, do they still play that? And the NHL and the NBA, any All-Star game gathering with the best in their sport gathering in one location to play an exhibition game. It all began on this date 87 years ago with the very first Major League Baseball All-Star game. July 6, 1942, 78 years ago today, Anne Frank and her family go into hiding in the famous secret annex above her father's office in an Amsterdam warehouse. It is now one of the most famous places to go. I don't want to say tourist traps, it kind of sort of is. It has been preserved. It looks just like it did back in 1942 as the family went up the staircase behind the hidden bookcase and lived there until, well, the Gestapo came and found them, of course. Anne Frank and her family move into their secret annex on this date in Amsterdam on July 6, 1942. And the next day, she began writing her famous diary. This is the 76th anniversary of one of the worst fires ever in American history, the Hartford Circus Fire. Look at this footage, absolutely incredible. 168 people approximately died. To this day, they don't know exactly how many people died. Over 700 people were injured in Hartford, Connecticut, the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. There were 7,000 people under the big tent. The cause of the fire was never determined. They don't know what happened. Look at that incredible footage. It was all over in about 9 minutes. The tent was completely engulfed in about 3 minutes, and most of the people who died by running into each other out of the exits, and they were piled up and they had no place to go. The band, by the way, when the fire broke out, began to play the Stars and Stripes Forever, which for the people who were at the fire thought, hey, that's kind of cool. You know, it's a couple of days after Independence Day, but what it really meant to the people who worked in the circus was that there's something really bad going on, report to your stations. That was their little disaster theme, the Stars and Stripes Forever, the Hartford Circus Fire, 76 years ago today. And a seminal day in the history of rock and roll. July 6th, 1957, 63 years ago today at the Woolton Fete, which is essentially a Sunday church picnic when everybody gathers and they have a royalty and they have, lawn darts and general frivolity, musical entertainment that day at the Woolton Fete. John Lennon's skiffle group called the Quarrymen. John was 16 years old on this particular day, slightly inebriated. Paul McCartney was 15 years old. John and Paul were introduced to one another on this date, July 6, 1957, at the Woolton Fete. Paul was impressed that John had his own band. John was impressed that Paul knew how to tune a guitar. And in a week or so, Paul McCartney joined the Quarrymen, and the musical partnership was born on this date, 63 years ago today. The simple twists of fate. What if they hadn't met? Something you think about every once in a while. 36 minutes after the hour, Merv Griffin was born on this date 95 years ago today. He, of course, created Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy! He had his own talk show in the 60s, 70s, and 80s for 21 years called The Merv Griffin Show. He used to air at nighttime, moved it to the daytime. Died an extraordinary wealthy man. He made a lot of money, a lot of investments, casinos, hotels, spas. Of course, the money that he made off of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy! He did all right for himself. Merv Griffin died in 2007 at the age of 82. He even had a couple of hit records, but he ended up being one of the most famous and powerful media moguls of modern times. Bill Haley was also born in the state of 1925. Bill Haley didn't live nearly as long as Merv Griffin. He died in relative obscurity of a heart attack in 1981 at the age of 55, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 1987. The first real big star in rock and roll, with a massive breakthrough hit, Rock Around the Clock, plus Shake, Rattle, and Roll, See You Later, Alligator, and other great rock and roll hits. But Bill Haley didn't exactly look like a rock and roll star. Elvis did. But Bill Haley's contributions to rock and roll cannot be underestimated. He was born in the state of 1925. The 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush, born in the state. He is 74 years old today. He's living the good life. Happy birthday to George W. Bush, 43rd President of the United States from 2001 to 2009. And guess who he shares a birthday with? Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. They're exact contemporaries. They were born on the same day. Sylvester Stallone is also 74 years old today. Of course, this huge breakthrough role in Rocky. How many Rocky movies have they made now? 27, I think. Rocky Balboa, of course, John Rambo. They've made too many of those movies. I watched the Expendables movies, though. He's pretty good. He plays Barney Ross in the Expendables, and even though people make fun of Sylvester Stallone, you got to remember that he either wrote or co-wrote all of those franchise films. The Rocky movies, the John Rambo movies, and the Expendables. He played a role in writing the scripts for all of those. And he was also the original Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop. He was supposed to play Axel Foley. He wanted to make it more action-oriented and less comedy-oriented. The producers didn't want him to do that, and so instead they hired Eddie Murphy, to their eternal gratitude. It is 39 minutes after the hour. We got a brand new Mike Magnotti opinion. Going to make you think a little bit, we hope, and then my conversation with Jose Oglesby, the owner of the Wenatchee AppleSox. It's all coming up. You're watching a Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
What is it to be a volunteer firefighter? Is it the gear, the training, the vehicles you'll learn to drive, the honor of protecting your community? Time, energy, sweat, sometimes blood and even tears. Every call may not be a victory. Sometimes you'll walk away wondering if you helped at all. But sometimes you will be a hero.
At Earthwise Pet, we take an all-natural approach to wellness and nutrition. Our professional certified groomers were trained by the best in the Pacific Northwest. Our staff here at Earthwise Pet are all certified in pet nutrition. We are here to help you select the perfect food, supplement, and anything else you may need to make sure your pet is living its best and most healthy life. Earthwise Pet, Nutrition Center and Wellness Spa. Online or in the store, we are here for you.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
This is Caitlin Hedersheet, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, the rash of school shootings and other incidents of gun violence are tragic and horrifying. They really are. I can understand why some people want to eliminate the private ownership of firearms, and please don't deny it. Some of you do. But as the gun owners tell us, the issue isn't guns. Ever since the beginning of human history, we've murdered one another. Believe it or not, it's true. The story of Cain and Abel exemplifies this. Firearms makes this aspect of our humanity, this desire to kill, easier and more efficient, sure. But if you want to continue to try to ban firearms, knock yourself out. But doing so won't cure the baser instincts of human behavior. And this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue. How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epledolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive. No nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epledolin family is the right choice for you.
Family-owned and operated Epledolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
Join NCW Life Channel for a Wenatchee Valley 4th of July celebration. Dan Kuntz will help celebrate Independence Day with our coverage of fireworks from Walla Walla Point Park. It's brought to you by Caldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, encouraging you to leave your mark. Confluence Health, better together. And DOGHOUSE Motorsports, world's best motorsports store, 6 years running. It's a Wenatchee Valley 4th, live at 10 o'clock on Independence Day on NCW Life Channel, your local TV station.
What is it about Tipsy Canyon Winery that keeps people coming back? Is it the magnificent view from the hillside tasting room? Is it the exceptional but affordable wines? Or is it just the fact that you feel right at home from the minute you walk through the door? Actually, it's all this and more. Experience the Tipsy Canyon Winery located just outside of Manson. Your new home away from home.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. If you've been watching this show for any length of time, you know I'm an unabashed baseball fan. I love baseball. It's my favorite team sport. It's been a pretty rough 2020 for us fans of baseball, especially local baseball, especially the Wenatchee AppleSox. They were holding out hope to have some kind of something happening at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. It's not going to happen, as you well know. The announcement was made a few days ago, and here to talk about that, but we're going to move forward with some good stuff too, I hope, is the owner of the Wenatchee AppleSox and our good friend of the NCW Life Channel, Jose Oglesby, has agreed to join me. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Dan. How are you?
I love your mask, by the way. Where did you get that?
Thank you. I think one of our supporters prepared it for us.
Yeah?
Amy.
Okay.
And it's great.
It's
Love
cool.
it.
The baseball-themed mask. I got to find out where you got that.
I love it.
Let's talk about the announcement from a few days ago. We weren't really surprised. The last time you and I talked, you were holding out hope that you were going to have some sort of sandlot baseball or maybe some clinics or something to whet our baseball appetite late in the summer. And then the decision was made a couple of days ago. You and Portland were the only two teams that were hoping to have something happen. Walk me through the process, Jose, of the last couple of weeks when you realized it simply wasn't going to happen. Walk me through that.
Well, it was pretty simple, actually. We were keeping a close look on the case numbers, the active case numbers, the positive tests. Mm-hmm. And we were also keeping track of where we were in our reopening. And we had always said that we needed to get to phase 3. Phase 3 is where we, can actually have some people in the stadium, and more importantly, is when you can have the team gather together to practice, right? So in phase 2, you can only have 5 people practice together or something like that. So that doesn't make it so that you can have organized workouts. So we need to get to phase 3, and then taking a look at where we were with the case numbers. It just became obvious that we were not going to make it to phase 3 until mid-August or something like that. And because of that, then we just had to make the decision, okay, we're not going to be able to have organized games at the park at all. So, we had to make the reluctant decision to call that off because, you can't keep people waiting forever.
No, you can't. How did Allie take the news, and Ken and Coach Sanderson and the people who are part of the AppleSox family?
We are all disappointed. We gave it our best shot. I thought we did a great job of trying to adjust to the circumstances. And even now, we're trying to figure out some ways that we can still participate in the community. So, we keep on the lookout for some announcements for what we're going to do.
Yeah, your sponsors have been great in all this. They've really, if you pardon the analogy, stepped up to the plate, Jose.
They surely have. Sponsors and season ticket holders have been beyond, tolerant with us. They've been awesome. I can't wish for anything better. So we feel like they got our backs, and we still hope to be able to give something back to the community.
Baseball is changing not only locally with the no AppleSox baseball. I don't know if Legion baseball is even playing, the Packers and that group. I honestly don't know. But also from a national standpoint, we're going to have an abbreviated baseball season. There will be no minor league baseball at all this year, and probably scale back team-wise next year. But there's a silver lining to this cloud, isn't there, Jose?
Well, I think we're just gonna come back stronger. Even this year, are you excited? It's only a 60-game season. Anything can happen. Maybe the Mariners make the playoffs.
The Mariners may make the playoffs. That doesn't happen in 19 years. So
that would be crazy. But no, I think baseball is going through a lot of changes. This thing has changed the sport. I think it's going to be bigger and better. Hopefully we'll have the vaccine, and we'll have fans back in the stands. and I'm looking forward to the future.
You've obviously are keeping in touch with the commissioner of your league, Rob Nyer, and all of the other owners in the ownership group. They pulled the plug on the season itself a number of weeks ago for obvious reasons. Different counties and different areas and different health districts were in different phases. Logistically, we realized it wasn't going to happen. I had Coach Sanderson on my show a few weeks ago to talk about the possibility of gathering as much local baseball talent as possible from the high school and college ranks and have some sort of sandlot baseball. For those guys out there who are watching the show, 15, 16, 17-year-olds who can go out to a park somewhere and play, what's your message to them, Jose?
Stay ready, keep working on your skills. This is a time to focus on getting better and on trying to stay in shape, trying to get into the good habits that are going to propel you forward.
Is the fact that there's not going to be minor league baseball at all this year affect you guys at all? I mean, that obviously the West Coast League being an amateur league with wood bats, it's for players to hone their skills and hopefully work their way up the baseball ladder. The talent pool is now going to be thinned out, I guess, or maybe improved.
I'm not sure what's going to happen. I mean, my heart really goes out to all those kids who are trying to get better, to have a dream of making it, and to lose a year of development. I think it's a big blow to them. But by the same token, I do think that many of them will stick with it, and we'll be back, and they'll have maybe even one more year of life experience.
Are all the teams, to your knowledge, going to be returning to the West Coast League next year? There's going to be no turnover, no change. Everybody's on board.
We expect everybody back, and then we have announced one new team in Nanaimo.
Nanaimo, yeah. So, that's two Canadian teams now. Is that right in the league?
Let's see. No, that'd be three Canadian teams.
That's right. I forgot.
We got Kelowna, Nanaimo, and Victoria.
Victoria. I forgot about Victoria, which is one of the most beautiful cities in North America.
So I don't know. Hopefully, we'll be able to cross the border by then.
Yeah, really, that would be nice. Obviously, with the whole season completely wiped out, that also meant that no All-Star game. We were supposed to host the All-Star game this year.
Yes.
Are we going to be back into the rotation? Do we get the first chance to host it next year?
We're still discussing that with the league. Okay. We had some talk about sort of revamping the All-Star game and stuff like that. We'll see what happens with that. We're gonna have a new schedule because of the new team. So we have a lot of time now to make sure that when we come back with all sorts of new things. So we'll see what happens.
What can I do to get my AppleSox swag? I mean, I want my AppleSox shirt. I want my AppleSox pennant. What am I going to do?
Hey, www.applesox.com. We have all our swag available. Just tell us what you want, make your wish list, and then we'll take care of you at Christmas.
Jose, anything else on your mind while I have you here? This is a rare treat. The last time you and I talked, it was on Skype. Anything else while I have you here?
No, we're looking forward to plugging away. Like I said, we're gonna try to figure out some things that we can do this summer. We'll keep trying. As long as we got breath, we're gonna keep trying to do something. And so we look forward to seeing you all. Maybe drop by, whatever. Yeah. And we'll do the best we can.
It's so sad to drive down 9th Street here in town and look to the right and look at Paul Thomas Senior Field, and it's beautifully maintained. They've done a great job, the college and their crew there, and there's no sound of the ball hitting the bat and the glove hitting the ball in the glove, and it's...
I certainly miss those sounds of summer.
Yeah, I do, but we're holding out hope. We're going to have baseball, and we're going to have it real soon, as soon as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
So... Jose Oglesby is the owner of the Wenatchee AppleSox. You have an open invitation to come by anytime you want.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
Say hi to your niece. Say hi to Ken and the crew there at the front office and Coach Sanderson and everybody.
We'll definitely be in touch.
Yep, and I'll try and hop by and get me what I'm sure is going to be a collector's item, an AppleSox 2020 shirt.
And face mask.
And face mask. I got to get me one of those as well. Jose, I appreciate it. Let's play ball real soon, all right?
Thanks a lot, Dan.
Anytime. Jose Oglesby, the owner of the Wenatchee AppleSox. We'll be right back.
What's your automotive emergency?
It's a Margarita mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
This hasn't been easy for any of us, and we don't know all that lies ahead. But as local business owners, we can't wait to welcome you back. So as we reopen, we'll be wearing masks. We all have different opinions about them, but standing with your neighbor sometimes means standing in the uncomfortable. And you can stand with us by wearing a mask when you visit.
As you all know, our community is suffering under the weight of this global pandemic.
We are collaborating with regional healthcare providers and community leaders to collect accurate information on the number of COVID-19 infections in our region in order to meet the requirements for reopening.
To collect this information, we need community members to volunteer to be tested for COVID-19.
Data from these tests are vital to getting our region's businesses open again and helping us manage future spikes in infection, protecting our community members while also keeping the economy open.
Testing is voluntary and results are completely confidential. Look for more information about this testing in your mailbox.
We value your individual health and the health of our communities. Thank you for doing your part to keep us healthy and resilient.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
And we are back out of here for this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Summer weather? Yeah. Hot? No. Pleasant, I guess, is maybe the best way to put it. We always like to wrap up this television program with another look at the weather forecast, because that's the one thing that kind of affects everybody. First of all, we have a couple of slides to show for you. Again, there's just the slightest chance of a little bit of a thunderstorm to the northwest of us, up near the Omak, Okanagan area. It's a slight chance. It's Monday night into Tuesday, so tonight into Tuesday morning. It's still a little instability to the north of us and to the east of us. So a chance of showers and some thunderstorms up there, which is really the very edge of our viewing area. Maybe the Mendenhall Valley could get a little bit of rain and a little bit of thunderstorm. Looks like it's going to come down about halfway down the Lake Chelan area before it peters out. So for the Wenatchee Valley proper, really not a concern, but it was enough that I wanted to throw that up there. The big thing, again, is here comes the breezy conditions. Can't seem to shake that out. It wasn't too bad at all over the weekend, but breezy to windy conditions are coming right back tonight. No wind at all today. It's going to be very calm all day today. It's going to be warm, too, for that matter, considerably warmer than it was over the weekend. But tonight is when the wind's going to start picking up. Pretty sustained winds, about 10 to 20 miles an hour, gusts near 30 possible, especially Tuesday for the east slopes of the Cascades, the Columbia Basin. Obviously, if you're going to go out and about and do a little fishing on the area lakes, that could be a little choppy, and of course, always a chance of an elevated fire risk in those grassy areas where brush and grass can really take off. In detail, here we go. Sunshine today, high of about 88 or 89. That's warmer than it was yesterday. 83 was our high on Sunday. Again, wind tonight, it starts going tonight, overnight while you're sleeping, 59 for the overnight low. Tuesday morning, you're going to wake up to breezy conditions. It'll be somewhere between breezy and windy all day Tuesday with gusts near 30 miles an hour. Considerably cooler, look at that, about 11 degrees cooler than today with a high of only 77. The winds die down Tuesday night. Then we warm up with lots of sunshine for the rest of the week. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.